September 7th, 1996, after attending a Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas, Nevada, Tupac Shakur would be shot 4 times while sitting at a red light in a car with Suge Knight. Tupac Shakur was immediately taken to a hospital where he spent the next 5 days fighting for his life, but would eventually succumb to his injuries.
Complications from several bullet wounds sustained Saturday night, September 7th. He was 25 years old.
As soon as news of the shooting made its way back to New York City, Diddy would call Keefe D and ask him, "Was this us?" And of course, we all know the answer to that question, which meant now Diddy needed to pay Keefe D $1 million. Diddy would then give the check to somebody he trusted to facilitate the transaction, and that check would end up being seen by numerous people. However, the person Diddy handed that check to was a shady who ended up cashing the check himself and stealing all the money. Now the crazy thing is, because that check never made its way to Keefe D's hands, the FBI had no tangible evidence of Diddy's involvement.
Yes.
And Zip was supposed to give the money to Keefe and them.
Yes.
But he never gave the money to him.
But thank God he never gave him the money, right? Think about it. If he gave the money, Puffy would be in prison now, a murder for hire. So thank God. It's just a true story. If he would have gave them the money, it'd have been a murder for hire, and Puffy would be locked up.
That is literally the only reason Diddy was never implicated in the death of Tupac Shakur. Now, not only was Tupac Shakur killed, but Suge Knight being in Las Vegas violated his probation, which meant he got arrested and sent to prison for 8 months. In one fell swoop, all the competition was gone, and Bad Boy Records sat atop the throne of the music industry. But all was not well in the Bad Boy family. Biggie kept running out of money and didn't understand why. And for the very first time, Biggie had somebody take a close look at his contract. That's when he discovered that the person he trusted most in the world had been him the entire time.
He said, "I'm broke." I said, "Yeah, you broke, man." "Yo, how you know that?" I said, "Talking run their mouth big."
Biggie would approach Diddy and ask him to have his contract restructured. And with a demeanor so cold it actually shocked Biggie, Diddy told Biggie he could only get a new contract if he fulfilled all the obligations of his current contract. Biggie decided to handle all the obligations of his current contract, and then he was gonna leave Bad Boy Records. Now initially, Biggie signed a 4-album deal, and the entire reason Life After Death was a double album was because Biggie was trying to speed run through the rest of his contract. Things between Biggie and Diddy got tense quickly. Not only that, but Big was having a difficult time finishing songs because he had just lost his passion for anything related to Bad Boy.
You've been writing this song for like 30 days now.
So it should be kind of hard, you know what I'm saying? I got a lot of stuff on your mind, you know what I'm saying?
You've been writing this song for like 30 days. There ain't no excuse for that. But too much balling, enjoying yourself, you know.
We got nothing to do with that.
Not only that, but his focus wasn't primarily on Bad Boy Records, he was also trying to get another contract with someone else. Things started to look really good for Biggie's future after he was drafted a contract with Rockefeller Records worth well over $60 million that multiple people saw.
Look at this. I think the contract was for so many years for like 62 million. It comes out to like $62 million.
Biggie was leaving Bad Boy. It was 100% gonna happen, and there's no way that Diddy didn't know. Diddy hates losing, and he was on the verge of losing his biggest cash cow, so he decided something needed to be done. Then in March 1997, Diddy somehow talked Biggie into going to LA. At first, Biggie didn't want to go at all. He was recovering after a car accident where he broke his femur, so traveling was very uncomfortable for him. Not only that, but Biggie had shows booked in London that he really wanted to do.
Biggie didn't want to go to LA. He may not have wanted to go to London, but was talked into it. First time ever a rapper of your stature getting this treatment. That would be something he would be interested in doing.
Now, everyone always says Diddy was able to talk Biggie into going to LA, but they never really say exactly how. Part of Biggie's contract stipulated that he had to provide multiple features for Diddy's album, which was being recorded in LA. So the main reason Biggie went to LA was so he could check another box off his contract and get him one step closer to leaving Bad Boy Records. Biggie reluctantly agreed to go to LA with Diddy, and his death clock was now ticking. Now, while Biggie was in LA, he did a few media appearances, but his primary focus was those features, so he would spend the majority of his time in the studio. Meanwhile, the same bizarre behavior people had noticed out of Diddy on the night of Tupac's attack at Quad Studios had once again resurfaced, and it was clear to everyone around that Diddy was acting very strange. Meanwhile, Biggie would finish all of his required features for Diddy's extremely distastefully named album, No Way Out. And the last verse Biggie would ever record was for the song Victory.
I got this shit not tight, brass knuckles and flashlights, the heaters and the two-seaters with two readers, senoritas, kiss rings when you meet us.
Which brings us to the day of March 8th, 1997. Biggie was trying to leave and go to London, but Diddy wasn't letting him. Diddy was trying to convince Big to stay that night for the vibe party and then he could leave for London in the morning. And unfortunately for Biggie, he would once again concede and decide to go to the vibe party. Meanwhile, all day long, Diddy had ignored numerous threats that their lives were in danger that night.
Puff, I got some intel. The guys are coming to kill us tonight at the museum party. He said, Gene, I don't want to hear that shit. He said, you ain't got to go if you don't want to go.
But then everybody ended up going to the vibe party anyway and had a really good time. That was until the fire department came in and shut the place down and sent everybody spilling out into the street. Which brings us to the early morning hours of March 9th, 1997.
That was something. I couldn't believe that. So there's a good chance that Diddy may have paid off Keefe D to take out Tupac, but because the payment haven't reached Keefe D, Diddy wasn't implicated. So imagine if the money actually reached Keefe D's hands, they'd been in. But the person supposed to give the money to Keefe D, cashed it, stole the money himself. But still, Keefe D got busted for the murder of Tupac. And somehow they could connect the dots with the involvement of P. Diddy. Somehow. I imagine you gotta find that person who stole the check, cashed it for himself for $1 million, and see what goes from there. But that was a deeply intense, video about what happened to Tupac. And don't forget about Biggie. It goes like Big is getting played, he's getting robbed by Diddy. And I think Rockefeller Records ready to pay the man $62 million. That's a lot of money. Probably got more creative control and all that stuff. And one for the fact that he was made to stay for a vibe party in LA, he would still be alive. But like I said, now that Diddy has been arrested, Lord knows what type of secret's going to be pouring out. And to protect himself, how many people's going to bring down with him? You think that Diddy's going to go down alone? I highly doubt it. So what do you think? What's your thoughts on this video? I think shout out to the guy I know, I think is Ghostface, whatever his name is, but he did a great job reporting this though. Give a shout out to this guy here. But what's your thoughts on this though? Leave your thoughts and opinions on the comments down below. Peace.